you could tell us about how you started going to Japan, and some details of your tours there and who you worked for.
All right.
Whenever you're
So
ready.
I went to Japan?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the first time, who brought you over?
Hiro Matsuda. We worked Florida in '87. Steve and I did. And Hiro liked us. Of course, Kevin's one put us together and everything. And it was about a year later, though, before we got a tour. But Hiro is the one that originally got us in for New Japan. And Hiro was, because they brought Muda over, worked Florida, Kendo Nagasaki, guys like that, and Saito, Masa Saito worked Florida in the day too, when he was younger. But Hiro did for New Japan. We did four tours, 88 to 90. Top guys, of course, Inoki. I got to work a lot of 6-mans with Inoki, a few singles, 4-mans with Inoki, 8-mans, Fujinami, Hashimoto, remember him?
Yeah.
Chono. And it was before, we're getting close. Chono and Hashimoto were a team for a long time. And I never got to work with Muda. Never got to work with Muda. When Brody got killed, I can remember, it's when I first met, the next night is when I met Muda. They got Muda out of the country. He was working for Puerto Rico then. Also worked Koshinaka, I think his name Koshinaka, a lot for New Japan. And the guys over there, Americans, when it was Vader, when he had not been doing the Vader gimmick very long and was selling out everywhere with that gimmick. They gave him the gimmick and the steam and all that. I mean, it was over. Also Scott Hall was on a lot of tours for him. Buzz Sawyer, Manny Fernandez, and Buzz and Manny were a great team. Bob Orton Jr., Dick Murdoch from New Japan, on a lot of tours.
Someone was telling me Bob Orton was attacked in Japan. Did you ever hear about that?
Attacked?
Yeah, like backstage.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Okay.
I've never heard that. I was in Singapore with Bob Orton, an 8-man tag.
Actually, I think it was Sid telling me that off camera. But go ahead with the Singapore story.
I don't know. I ain't seen anything happen.
Yeah.
8-man tag. Don Morocco, me. Oh, I can't remember this. Anyway, Bob Orton Jr., Kamala Jr., or Kamala 2, or somebody else. We were in Kuching, Malaysia, and it's like an island, and there's like headhunters in the mountains, they said, and everything, and 2-day deal, and Sheik had done a thing where Mark Lewin, tore up the whole ballroom at the hotel, and big, sold out both nights. But 1990, Bob Orton, they're getting heat on me, and Bob goes over to get a chair to come to hit me with a chair in the back, right, some way. And I'm just selling on the floor, or something, or maybe over the ring announcer table, and the guy grabbed him or something, and Bob slapped him, something like that. I'm not sure how that went. I believe he slapped him, and I'm like, oh Lord, and there you told the guys pull the guns, and the guards, the army guys and stuff, and that guy was would be like a governor,
Yeah.
of that state of Malaysia. Oh my God! If he had to go out publicly to apologize, and they said he was lucky he didn't get shot. I remember that. Yeah.
So how many tours of Japan do you think you did total?
I did 23.
Wow.
4 for New Japan, 2 for All Japan. I did a few for FMW. I can't remember how many. I did a lot for IWA Japan, Wing. Worked Terry Funk in Japan. Cactus and I were tag champions for IWA Japan. Worked Terry Funk a lot. Different partners he had over there. Sure did. All Japan. Got to work with, you remember Kawada?
Yeah.
He was great. Worked a lot of 6-mans, 4-mans with him. Kobashi, remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mizawa, Mr. Baba. Got to work with gosh, I can't even remember the Japanese guy. Americans over there was Doug Furnace, Phil LaFon, Can-Am Express thing, Patriot, and I can't remember what Jackie Fulton was called, but you know, them, who else? Johnny Ace, Dan Spivey, Dr. S.T. Williams, Boss Man, you know, what all the guys, Joe Deaton, and you know, what a crew, correct? Terry Gordy. I was on the tour when Terry Gordy OD'd. Well, he lived. He was in a coma. You know, he passed out on the plane, never woke up. Weeks later or something. You know, it's crazy.
Let's see.
Kenny Murrah and Wing.
What did you think of Victor Quiones? He was running wing, wasn't
Yeah, he was always good to me. I can't say nothing bad about. Always got my money. You know, he's been good. You know, and let me sell gimmicks and stuff and over there. And you know, a lot of guys didn't like him, but I mean, he was always good to me.
he? You have a fan asking if anyone's ever asked you if you're related to the Smothers brothers, and have you ever met them?
Nope, never met him. I'm not related to him. My name is Smothers.
Someone wants me to ask you about the Mongolian mauler, Peter Miller.
I didn't really know him that good. I knew him. I was on a few shows with him. He passed away, I believe. I don't know when, but I didn't know him real good. I've met him a few times.
What was Stan Hansen like to team with?
God almighty. I worked with him a lot in Japan and in WCW. Believe it or not, you know who Stan was good, always was tight with? Travis Sid. Can you imagine Stan and Sid?
No, I didn't. I wish I'd known that.
Yeah. They were always hung together. Always. Stan was a machine, man. He was a romping. I like to one of these young guys call him an old man. Him and Bruce Brody. Guys like that. Sid, you know, call it.
Someone says they remember you wrestling on local outlaw shows in Kentucky for Dale Mann,
Yeah.
and you'd usually be wrestling Eddie Gilbert.
No. I never worked with Eddie for Dale Mann.
Okay.
I never worked with Eddie for Dale Mann.
Or was that at the fair? I don't know. A little
I
confusing.
worked for Dale Mann a lot. When I got released to WCW in '92, I worked for Dale Mann a lot. You know, there. Worked at military bases with him too. For him too.
Any memories of Bill Kazmaier from WCW?
Yeah, I was Continental actually in '88. Was around him a lot, and Bill wasn't a wrestler. He should have been like a bodyguard type with his gimmick and do the strongman thing. And exposed him when he was a wrestler, and I don't think he was ever really trained. Nice guy, good guy, power lifter. God, he's amazing strength. And then in WCW they brought him in. You know, I was there, but I thought he should have been more like a role like that. You know.
Who was the most unprofessional wrestler you ever worked?
Oh man. Maybe some of these young guys that really wasn't trained right. You know, not all of them. You know, some veterans too. Goofs training goofs, and it's not good.
Where can we follow you on social media?
Facebook.
Facebook, which is just Tracy Smothers.
Yeah.
Someone says hello from the UK. Who is your favorite ECW opponent?
Oh man, that's hard to say. Hey, we never talked about Nova, did we?
No, we didn't actually.
Love the BWO, the whole gimmick. You know, with them, that was a blast. It was a blast with all of them in ECW. Axle balls, and you know, we got to do a lot of six mans. Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, Scorpio. You know, Tommy gets great on myself. So I mean, all of them. That's fun, man. A lot of fun.
What's your opinion of Shane Douglas?
Love Shane Douglas. Love Shane. Known him since '88. Used to live together. Used to live with me. He was putt-putt champion of the world. We always play putt-putt, commentate, talk trash, you know.
Who's your favorite commentator?
God, Gordon Soley. Lance Russell. And Jim Ross. All of them were great. All of them.
Someone says they saw the.
Dutch Thatcher, Dutch Mantel.
Oh wow, you're not leaving anybody out.
Yeah.
We never really went into details about your memories of Dutch Mantel in the shoot yet.
Oh. Yeah, it's true. Well, Dutch, I mean, he was one of my idols. And then when I worked with him first started, Dutch just fire on you, you know, and I got pissed. I remember I worked with him one night, and I was looking for him, you know. But he was ribbing me hard, really, and as I got older, you know, you know. But I love Dutch. What a mind! I learned so much from him. Travel with him, and he's just so funny. Dutch should be a comedian. He's one of them guys who's funny, don't try to be funny. He's very smart, very intelligent, very up on current events that happens. And Tom Pritchard's the same way. God, just amazing, brilliant. He's Dutch. I put him in there too. The guys you want, their head booking, creative. There's a lot of guys like that.
Someone said they saw the video of you wrestling the bear, which we discuss his matches with the bears in detail in this, but they said, was you jumping out of the ring at the end, leaving in disgust to work or a shoot?
It wasn't disgust. I was blowed up. I hardly worked a tag match and then did the bear, and that was the third of 3 rounds. They just see that's all they showed on that. Plus, I had to work Dutch. Blowed up. My God, you go in there with a bear, you know, for the rest of that.
How do you like living in Evansville?
I live in Fort Branch. I'm north of Evansville. What I do like about it, the location, it's close to the south. It's close to the Midwest. It's not too bad from the northeast, you know, and the west, you know, and it's kind of in the middle, you know, and it's really not, you know, and even like, you know, Kansas or Missouri, it's not too bad, you know, it's as far as what we do, and it's quiet out where I live, and then, you know, Tennessee's got crazy, plus the thugs, God almighty, those guys still up, they call me every now and then going off, talking shit.
Would you manage in WWE if given the chance today, and who would you want to manage?
I never want to work for WWE, ever.
What's the biggest problem with today's WWE product?
Oh, I ain't saying there's a problem. I mean, just
That's a different question from a different guy.
yeah. Well, scripted promos, you know, and give them bullet points to hit, you know, and then put it in their own word, or you know, I don't know how they do it, but I can't see how a guy that wrote Days of Our Lives, or Young and the Restless, or General Hospital could write wrestling promos. They don't know nothing. Well, Jake, for instance, on your set, I saw the question or something to that point, and he said, Vince said, the writers are all scared of you and think you don't like them. And he said, well, they don't know nothing about wrestling, you know, and he's right. They don't know how as a script writer, like, they can cut a promo to teach you how to cut a promo better than a guy like Jake. You know, come on, you know, or know more about this business than Jake, who grew up in it. You know, and you know, guys like Jake. There's a lot of guys like that are well qualified. Kevin Sullivan, for one. There's tons more. You know. And,
What are your thoughts on Manny Fernandez?
I love Manny until he knocked me and talk shit. I never did nothing to Manny. He helped me a lot in Japan. Taught me how to watch guys and find out what they do, and taught me a lot. I've been in business 5 years, and Stevie and I, we ran with him all the time, Buzz, you know, and all, and you know, something got brought up about tough guys, and I want to shoot Randy did or something, and man, he started laughing at me, and I didn't think it was cool. I got upset about that, but tell the truth, it is a joke because I'm not, and I don't claim to be. You do, but don't laugh at me. You know, that kind of upset me, hurt my feelings. But we've talked. we did a podcast actually together and talked about old times and Japan, you know, and stuff. But I have nothing but fond memories, I now think back on it because you know, and he's right. When you think about tough guys, you think about guys like Carl Gotch, you talking about Matsuda, you're talking about Danny Hodge, you're talking about guys like that. It is a joke. I don't know where that come from with me, but I mean, he told some story about in Pikeville, Kentucky. He hadn't seen me in a while. Said he hid my bag and said I was wigging out or something. He was ribbing me. That never happened. What did happen was this. He shot on me 3 nights in a row, and shows for Bobby Blaze in that area there, Pikeville area and all that, up into West Virginia. And I don't know why he did it, because I always loved working with him, and I didn't know it was coming. And when before in '88, Manny was a beast, but Manny wasn't quite that in '94, and his health wasn't as good. And I got him, I beat him. But I never had a crossword with him, and I didn't understand why he talked shit about me, and I hurt my feelings more than anything. I got feelings. But I love the guy, man. I heard something about happening to him and Tommy Rich. I didn't think that's cool. I saw him knocking Tommy and stuff he said, and I thought, that's a pot calling the kettle black. But sometimes some things, guys sit down and talk, and we're all grown men here.
Is Ole Anderson really as cranky as he seems to be?
Yeah, he's happy being miserable. He will knock ice cream.
Thoughts on Eddie Gilbert's death?
Oh, that's sad. Sad. Pills, somas, bad thing. Stopped his heart. He lived, eat, and breathed the wrestling, the business. He'd go to the bathroom, get a finish. He couldn't turn it off. And mind was constantly going. And one of the greatest minds. And to me, he should be inducted in the Hall of Fame. He should have been years ago. He was so far ahead of his time. Amazing.
Thoughts on the New Day and the Page sex tapes?
Everybody has a closet. Everybody has their skeletons, and everybody does what they do, and whatever their trip is, and whatever, it's their business, it's their life, and whoever exposed that's a piece of shit. Because I know the whole Knight family, Ricky, Soraya, the mom. I've worked over in Europe, United Kingdom. I did 11, 12 tours over there, anywhere 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, or a month. And everybody, Zach, everybody in that family wrestles. They do. They're wrestling people and good people, and if they love you, they're great. If they don't, leave them on. Roy, he was a zebra kid, tough kid. You love him. He's a tough kid. He been in the bar with all. He kick ass. Tough kid. But all good people. Whatever people do in their own personal, that's their business.
Thoughts on Ronnie Garvin?
Chopped me harder than anybody in my life. So him, Chris Benoit, hell of a guy. Just saw him this past April, I believe. What a hell of a worker, hell of a man, good man. Retired, does some conventions, saved his money, lives in West Virginia, just hunts and fishes.
Did you ever work with Muda? If so, how was it?
No, never got to. Watched him work Brad Armstrong. They went 30 minutes done TBS, the old Saturday night main event, or Saturday night, WCW Saturday night. And Muda told him, when he come out of the ring, told Brad, said, maybe you're the best worker in the United States.
Is George Weingroff as tough as he thinks he is?
Yes.
What are your...
George was Tennessee School for the Blind state champion, UT Chattanooga. He was wrestling coach at Cheatham County, and he pro wrestled already, and Springfield wrestled Cheatham County, and I had Bobby Lee and at 167, and Bobby wasn't that good, good guy, he wasn't that good. I slammed him, and there's a penalty, and there's a dual meet, and we lost the dual meet because of that. George told him to stay down. Yeah, George Weingroff. But George Weingroff's a beast, legally blind, and what a wrestler, shooter. Bill Watts loved him, was a hell of a worker, and was a legend at Tennessee School for the Blind, a legend, and at UT Chattanooga. And to me, George didn't like the politics of the business, and he's right on. But boy, great shape, man. He's probably about 60 years old now, and he looks like he's 30. George is a beast.
Who was your favorite wrestler?
He did a Sheik gimmick, and I worked with him for Del Man.
Yeah.
And on a military basis at Fort Campbell. and I put him over because usually babyface go over and do, and and Dale always want to keep him hot as a heel, and boy, he did it. He ain't a sheep. I think he might be Indian, Italian, I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
But his dad, Sal Longo, Herbie, brother, he's a take trooper. I can't take it. Eric, I love those guys.
Favorite wrestler to tag
They
with?
helped me a lot when I started.
Sorry, favorite wrestler to tag with?
That's hard. Stephen Guido, Ty, you know.
Most overrated wrestler of all time?
I don't know. That's hard.
Least favorite wrestler to tag with?
That's hard too.
You don't want to throw anyone under the
White
bus.
Boy's one of my favorite opponents, and too. I'd say that. That's hard to say. Some guys you never heard of, usually, least favorite, that think they're all that. You know what I mean? You get the match over, try to get the show over. I understand that.
Opinion of Jerry Lawler?
One of the greatest minds, greatest workers ever. Longevity, 68, 69, he's still going. He's amazing. He was a real prick when he was younger, but we all were, I guess. And he's mellowed out since that happened in 2012. But I always had a lot of pressure on him. I guess that's what you could say. Top guy, and had to take care of himself, and I had the power to do that. But I learned so much from working with him, me as a heel and him as a babyface, and just listening. And he was just a man, learned a lot from him, a whole lot. Business period.
Thoughts on Brian Last hosting podcasts?
Who is Brian Last?
I don't know. Maybe that's a trick question. I don't know. Jonathan Dobbs says you're his least favorite.
JD?
Yeah.
He's working right down the road. He works security over by the airport,
Okay.
checking in trucks.
Favorite and least favorite territory, and is there any territory you wish you had worked that you never got to work?
Portland, Oregon. Wish I could have worked there. Least favorite? I don't have a least favorite. They're all fun.
Apparently that the guy hosts Cornette's podcast is the guy who we didn't know his name.
Oh, I have heard that name. Yeah, I don't know. I've listened to Jimmy's podcast. I don't guess I know him. Okay.
Thoughts on Ron Simmons?
Great guy, strong, tough guy. Loved to fish. He was an old country boy from South Georgia. What a football player. Retired as Jersey, Florida State, beast, and Ron.
Did you know Len Rossi?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I grew up watching him. I know his granddaughter. She was going to get in the business for a bit, not necessarily working, but as a valet. I think she's flight attendant now.
Was New Jack as bad behind the scenes as he comes across in interviews now, or is that exaggerated?
No, New Jack. New Jack was New Jack. That's not a gimmick, but no, New Jack was a professional. I mean, I never had any problem with him professionally. I love New Jack.
Any Buddy Landell story?
Oh God. One night, Buddy, I can't remember, we were traveling, and while we were traveling, he started praying, and then a shooting star come. I remember that, and he pulled the car over and got out, and it was pretty cool, and Buddy was so funny. God bless him.
Thoughts on the Dynamite Kid?
Only met him a couple of times. I didn't know. I knew Davey better, but he was cool to me. Dynamite was. I respect him. Hey, so far ahead of his time in the ring, his matches with Tiger Mask. People, guys should watch that.
Opinion of Bret Hart?
Hell of a man. He was. I hate that happened. That Goldberg and all that stroke, and everything. And people bought him, man. He was over.
Do you know anyone with more wrestling memorabilia than Jim Cornette?
No.
Someone says it was a pleasure watching you in Poughkeepsie, New York for ECW.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good town. Good wrestling town.
Could George Goulas have taken Luthez in a shoot?
No.
Thoughts on Billy Wicks?
Where do I know. I can't
He's an older Tennessee wrestling legend that I guess was a shooter as well.
Yeah. Well, he was getting out when I was getting in. Kind of. Yeah. I didn't know him that well. I've been on a few shows with him.
Someone says, thanks for doing this Q&A. Thoughts on Impact Wrestling?
Fred Urban died.
Wow. Yeah. You're welcome.
Was Billy Christmas as manly as advertised?
I don't know who that is. I don't think.
Neither do I. I think we're getting too late. Some of these questions are ridiculous, so I'm going to
Getting goofy.
shut it down. Is there any message you want? Oh, sorry. This is actually a good question. Who was the worst promoter you ever worked for? Probably someone we never heard of, I'd imagine.
Yeah. There's been some of them fly-by-nights, probably, Yeah.
Thoughts on the Chris Benoit murder? That's the last one I'll ask from these fans.
I don't think he did it. I think he was treading water on somebody else's territory with the pill thing, with the juice thing, with the doctor.